everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Riverton Bay. In today's episode, we're gonna pick up where we last left in the last episode, which is to continue building this town here. And in this episode, we are putting down some big things for this place. For example, what I'm doing on screen here. But yeah, we're gonna give this town some history and sort of a story for the town and why it's here in the first place. So yeah, in the last episode, I asked for suggestions for stories and history and stuff for the town, and got some good comments. But I decided to pick the one by Blaze T, which I thought I was gonna start off here by reading the story of this town, which is called Siestra. So yeah, enjoy this story. This town is called Siestra. Back in the days there was gold being found nearby, which is why many people decided to move there in order to get rich. However, it turned out that there was really not much gold, so only the first few people were lucky enough to get some. While everybody moved away in disappointment, there was one man who didn't want to give up on his dream. Instead, he kept on mining in the entire surrounding area for more than 2 years. When he was close to finally giving up, he made a huge discovery. He found tin in the ground. Without telling anybody about his findings, he invested all of his money into mining equipment in order to get it out of the ground. When he began to mine it on his own, he quickly realized there was way too much to do it by himself. That was when he decided to found a company and open up a tin mine. Nowadays, there is still tin mining going on. Siestra is basically where most of the mine workers live. However, there is the possibility to visit the mine and go down into the shafts, which is why there are quite a few tourists coming into Siestra regularly. When the man who owns the mine realized that, he built a motel at the entrance of Siestra. It is always sold out and the man is really rich by now. Because he turned into a real businessman, he wants more money though, which is why he's steadily looking for profitable opportunities to invest in anything in the region of Riverton Bay. Thank you to Blaze T for suggesting this story of the town. I really enjoyed it, and thank you to everyone else who also suggested stories. I think it just adds a lot more to a town like this to have a nice story for it. But yeah, thank you to you, Blaze T. Anyway, here we are in the time-lapse, and I'm building the mine. So yeah, I guess this is the tin mine. No, but you know, it was really hard finding assets for like a tin mine. Like, I looked up some pictures on tin mines, and the only thing I took away from it was that they had like chimneys or some sort of tower to them. And that's pretty much what I tried to add in this little custom mine I made here, because I really couldn't find any mine assets like that that I could just plop down. And I couldn't even find any assets for like gold mines and stuff either. So yeah, but there are like a mine in the industry DLC, but you know, I have a problem with those DLCs, like the industry DLC and the campus DLC. I just really don't like the fact that you have to have a main building for them, which is just, I don't know, I've never understood that. Like, why should you have to put down a main building? Like, I want to use one of those assets that look really nice, but then I can't use it because I have to put down some stupid, ugly main building next to it just so that it can work in some sort of district and stuff. I just don't understand that. Like, it's just, yeah, I just don't like how those DLCs are laid out. And yeah, I just wish there was some sort of sandbox mode or something where you could just plop down whatever assets you wanted without having to have the gameplay features of them. But yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna keep ranting here. But yeah, it was hard finding assets for this, but I ended up using the new ones by Spence, which I think look really nice, and I just created my own custom mine here, and we'll just have to imagine that they are mining tin in this mine here. But yeah, I think it turned out nice. I really like the location of it. I think it sits on a pretty cool spot, sort of overlooking the whole town, and you can see it from pretty much every spot of the town, I think, which is also pretty cool. But yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of you who tell me that everything I did with that mine is probably completely unrealistic and stuff. And I mean, if I had the the opportunity to create a completely realistic mine, like with all the good assets and everything, I would have done that, but like the assets are not there, so I had to do something that I thought looked aesthetically pleasing. So that's what I went for. Anyway, I'm putting down this cool little mansion here on the corner. And my thinking of putting this there was that this was probably a bit of an older road. And maybe that rich guy in the story, maybe he lived in that old mansion. I don't know, maybe something like that. But I just figured that that road was pretty old because it led up to the mine. So there would maybe be an old building on the road as well. And let's just say that the John Doe guy in this story might have lived in that house. So yeah. But I'm putting down also these Bolingbroke, I think you see, these buildings here, these new ones, which I think look really nice. And yeah, they just work very well. Like, they're just very neutral, and yeah, I just like them overall. They have a very realistic feel to them, I guess. Alright, and let me see, is there anything else that I wanted to mention about the mine? I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed using all of those like custom rocks by Grey Flame. That really made it possible to create a custom mine with like that little tunnel going in, or the entrance to the mine and stuff, using all of those custom rocks and stuff. A lot of stuff for some reason. But yeah, I really enjoyed using those rocks. I think they turned out great, and would have been very difficult to try and do something like that with just a terraforming tool. I mean, that would have been completely impossible, I think. But yeah, I'm actually adding some more buildings here to the mine, and I'm adding this like chimney or tower or whatever that is. Yeah, it kind of looks like a chimney. There is something on top there. So yeah, it must be a chimney. But yeah, I'm just adding some buildings there. I don't know what would be in those buildings. Like, I have no idea. I just added them because, yeah, there would probably be some buildings there. I don't know. But, dude, I mean, those assets are just awesome. Like, all of the buildings by Spence, and also all of those, like, rocks and stuff around there are just great. Yeah, anyway, we're pretty much at like 9 minutes now, so I'm gonna stop rambling around here and let you listen to some music, and then I'll tune back, and we actually have another story to be read in this episode that I forgot to read in the last one. It's a story for one of the theaters that we did in episode number 6, I think it is. That like entertainment district, sort of Hollywood inspired area. We have a story for one of the theaters there, which I asked about, which I haven't read yet. So that's coming up after the music here. So yeah, hopefully you're looking forward to that. And alright, I'm gonna leave you with some music, and I'll be back in a few minutes. So yeah, enjoy it. In 1936, a young man moved from his home in Florida to the second floor of an apartment in Riverton Bay. He was an actor working as a theater teacher at his middle school. He was ready to make it big. Meanwhile, Reuben McSmoo and his company were ready to build the Riverton Palace, a 200-foot mega tower at that time. The start of the construction of the tower was right where the young man's apartment was. The young man really loved his apartment, a historic Spanish one with vines and an overall cozy vibe. So he went outside and stood there protesting. He was the only one there because the others in his apartments got huge sums of money to get out. He continued to stand there until the demolition crew threw the stick of dynamite to blow the building down. When they threw the stick, the young man flew 20 feet, severely injuring his body. Luckily, he managed to survive. Word got around of the young man's heroic actions, and soon dozens of people from LA to New York went to Riverton Bay protesting. McSmoo couldn't take all the heat, so he left. Instead, in the man's honor, the city of Riverton Bay built a theater called Activist Theater commemorating that day and the man. This story was submitted by My Name is Adam, and I do really appreciate this story. I did decide to not include the end of the story because I wanted this one to be a little bit more happier, I guess, and have a bit more of a nicer end to it. So yeah, but anyway, I appreciate your submission, and yeah, let's move on with the time-lapse. Right, so I'm working on this graveyard for the church in this town, and I think it turned out pretty good. I actually used a lot of props to make this one because I didn't have that pack of gravestones downloaded. So yeah, there's like 3 graves in each prop here. So yeah, it ended up being a lot of props for this graveyard, but I don't know. I think it turned out pretty fine. I quite like it. I just thought the church should have like a graveyard. I felt like it would be more realistic that way, instead of just having the church there, just standing by itself. But yeah, I like how that turned out, and pretty much what I'm doing now is just expanding the town and trying to finish it up. Actually, when I'm recording this, the town is actually not finished. I'm gonna go in right after I've recorded this and finish up the last things, add some more buildings and stuff, and then I'm gonna get the cinematics. So the town is not even 100% completed by the time I'm recording this, but it will be for the cinematics, that's for sure. Alright, I'm using these shotgun houses, I think, or maybe they're called something else, by King Leno. Then I'm using some SoCal buildings. I'm using those Bolingbrook, I don't know how you say it. I'm using those new buildings there. Yeah, I'm just trying to find a good combination between the residential buildings, which yeah, I'm just trying to make it look fairly realistic. Anyway, I'm adding another motel here as well, on the corner. I just thought that it would make sense to have another motel. As said in the story for this town, a lot of tourists come here and visit the mine. Also, I thought about this. Maybe I should add, maybe I should do some tourist mine as well and add like some parking lots and stuff around it, because the mine we did in this episode doesn't really look like a mine where tourists would go to. So I'm thinking of trying to figure out some sort of way of adding like a small abandoned mine, I guess, where it's now like a tourist attraction and stuff. But yeah, I just need to figure out some way to get some assets for that. But yeah, we'll see how we do about that. Alright, so we're getting to the last part here of this episode, which is this little gas station here that I wanted to add. I just wanted to have this like on the road from Riverton Bay to Siestra. Just put a gas station here before you go over the river and into that new territory, I guess. So yeah, I just wanted to have a gas station on the way here for like people traveling from Riverton Bay to Siestra. Yeah, I just thought that would make sense, and it's in a pretty cool spot as well. Pretty nice views from up here, and yeah, I quite like this little location for the gas station. Anyway, this time-lapse is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and bye-bye.